Hello, everyone, and welcome to session one. So happy everybody's here. Not sure why I'm getting a little bit of feedback. I'm going to turn the stage over to Ladislaw for session one, and he is going to lead us. Got your slides? There you go. And Ladislaw, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Philippa. So this section, we're gonna talk about database design in advanced T-SQL and JSON. There is 35 to 40% of the exam yes. And to this domain, we're gonna study focus on when to use each topics that are included in the exam to every situation that we're going to have. So let's go ahead and see our agenda. We'll start with talking about specialized table types. And this is something really interesting that I was going through, specialized table types, when to use each of them, not only knowing what they do, but when to use it. And for these three start sessions, we're going to try to do a small demo, and also show a decision guide of when you should use each of the topics that we're going to go through. We're going to speak also about JSON functions, regular expressions, fuse matching, some programmability objects, and a little about AI-assisted dev. And for this, this is me, Ladislaw Andre. I currently work as a data engineer for Axios, but I'm also a Microsoft certified trainer, and I've been developing data and analytics solutions with Microsoft Fabric. Right, feel free to connect to me on LinkedIn. I'm always opening, and currently, same as Philippe, I'm a leader of a Fabric user group named Fabric Lusophone. So everyone is welcome there, and I'm always on LinkedIn, able to connect. So we're going to go through this section with the exam mindset that I also would call exam approach. It is not knowing definitions, but focusing on when to use each topic, each topic that appears on the exam. And we have here some examples. We shouldn't focus on what is a JSON value. We should, like, all right, it can return, or what does a JSON value return? A scalar string, a number, a Boolean? Yes, you should know this, but best is to know when to use it. Like the exam questions, most of the time coming like this. A developer needs to extract a price from a JSON column stored as a number. Then you know that you should use a JSON value. And we're gonna show some examples of this, how you should use a JSON value function on SQL Server. So, but this is the exam mindset and what I also call it the exam approach. All right, and then we come to these specialized table types, and we have this kind of tables now available on SQL Server: temporal, ledger, graph, and external tables. So each one of them has a specific use case. And for temporal tables, this is when we want to query our table for specific periods of time. Ledger is for auditability, and graph for complex relationships. But let's keep on here because we have the decision guide about these tables. For example, if you need to query a data as it exists in a specific point in time, use temporal table. We have this SQL code after your select statement that you say for system time as of, and then you put the date. Then you query your table in that specific date. And for another use cases, when you need to track who changed the data and what was changed, you can use a ledger table. And ledger can be in append only, it means that you only append values to this table, you not change it, never. Or it can be updatable when this table is changed, but you can have this auditability of who changed the data and when it was changed. And also, because of the big data and the era that we live in now, there are complex scenarios. And for example, for search engines, it's more like a graph, because the recommendation systems for Netflix, for example, the kind of tables that are developed, because it involves complex queries, that's why we have these kind of tables that are graph tables. Whenever you have a lot of complex relationships, you should use a graph table. And in the exam, it could come like you need to model a complex many-to-many relationships efficiently, because you could do with other tables, but with graph tables, it's completely much more efficient. And if you need sub-milliseconds insert with no locking contention, you can use a table with in-memory or memory optimized. Also, now you can have external tables on SQL Server. It means tables that are on it can be on Azure Blob Storage or other, or Polybase, for example. You can just have a link to that table on your SQL Server as like an external table, and you can query that table without holding the data. In Fabric, it's known as the shortcut. Whenever you need to store semi-structured attributes, you can use JSON columns. Now, even though SQL Server has structured data, now you can have columns with semi-structured data that are these ones, the JSON values. And also we have here something interesting, that is a scenario exam. For example, a bank must store transactions that cannot be altered or deleted, and auditors must be able to cryptographically verify integrity. So in this scenario, you will use a ledger table. And it's good that we see when this kind of table could be used. So in bank systems, a lot of times you could use a ledger table for this auditability and integrity. We have another scenario here. Social platforms needs to find all friends of friends within 3 hops. Standard joins are too complex. Then you're going to use a graph table. So not only knowing what the table is or what it does, but also when to use, it's the best design or exam approach. And here we have this little demo that we can show here on SQL Server, and we can run this. We can run this table, run this query, and now we have here our table, and we can see that it's a temporal table because we generated this table as period for system time and with system versioning on. This query made this table be a temporal table. And we have here, we can also see, I don't know if it's too difficult to see, but we have there a clock symbol on the left bottom corner of the table. And we can see that it's system version. So we could version the query this table. We don't have any data there, but we could query like this, as I was saying, for system time as of, and then we put the time that we want to query our table. And then we could also do the ledger table. Let me run this. And then here we have our ledger table. Let me update it, refresh. No. All right, we refresh and we can see the ledger table here. That is DB transactions. Let me see if I can run this. Completion time. We cannot run. We have to enable our database. I didn't enable it. Our database to be with the snapshot. Snapshot isolation must be enabled on the database to run this query. So we create the table as with ledger on, and this table is append only. It means that we cannot update the information there, not even delete it. So this is for auditability. And now we're going to go back to our presentation. Right, so with this, we know that both these tables, they track changes, but temporal is best used for time travel queries and ledger for cryptographic temporal evidence. So, and we cannot change from one table to another. If you created a table and it's temporal, you're not going to change this to ledger and vice versa. So we could also have a graph table. Let's quickly show the graph table because we're not going to do many. Right, it's here. Okay. Insert values, right? Here's H. Right, we create the graph table, and if we update our database, refresh tables, we can see here. Where is this relational match? Let me run this again and see. Refresh tables. Export. See why the system is not failing. Created this. All right. Let me create this here for easy. Create another database. I changed this database and now it's not. Oh, it's here. And let's go to master and create this table. Okay. Now we have the database here. Let's see. System databases, master, and tables, and graph tables. We can see here that we created a graph tables. So this table, person and company, and then we have the table that is making the relationships. So if we had to make a complex query, like with the connections for persons and companies that they are related, we could use this structure. And this table has a sign. It's probably difficult to see. It has a sign like a glasses that shows that it's the table only for the relationships that exists between the person and company. And this is the code that can generate this kind of tables. We have this, and then we create a table as the edge, and we use the IDs to make the connections. So creating these kind of tables would help us with these complex queries, and we created only three kind of tables: the temporal, graph tables, and the ledger. All right, so let's go to the next one, and we have three JSON functions on SQL Server. And right, we know that this JSON value, JSON query, and all of these functions are for us to use in our SQL queries to manipulate, to read from JSON values, or to write to JSON values. And it's good to know what each function does. For example, JSON value extract one scalar value from string, number, Boolean, JSON query, extract one JSON object or array fragment. It is good to know what the function does, but the best approach is to know when to use this kind of functions. So always going through the exam like this, first knowing the concept and then knowing when to use the concept and how to use limitations and so on. For example, we have this extract a single scalar value like name, price, status from a JSON column. And we have this JSON value. We put the document and then the field of the JSON column. To extract an entire nested object or array from a JSON document, we could use this function, JSON query. Convert JSON array into individual rows for reporting, OPENJSON. And we're going to see all of these three functions in our small demo. So it's good to go through the functions, knowing what they do, what they are, what they do, and then trying to see the use cases when we would need to use one or the other. This is what makes a whole difference in the exams. So after this, let me go back. After this, we can go to the demo and showing these three functions, how we could use them. Let's go back again to SQL Server. And here, see, this is the match. I don't need this for now. And all right, for example, we could run this. That is the JSON value. We have this JSON. We're going to declare this variable and put these values, the JSON values. And then after this, we want to extract the value, the JSON value function, to extract the customer, the tire, and the order. And we're going to select this and run it. Let me write it right. So we have the customer, the tire, and the order. And as we can see, the customer is Alice, and it's there. The tire is premium, but the order was not extracted. We are selecting here the order, but it's not extracted because we are trying to have a JSON value, and this is not a one value. This is an array. And when you're trying to get a value from an array, it returns null. This is also some tricky things that could come on your exam. If you have these, and if you're trying to extract orders and you use the function JSON value, you're gonna have an error or not. In the exam, this kind of tricky questions could appear. So in this case, SQL Server doesn't return any error. Instead, it returns the null because you're trying to extract an array using the JSON value, and it only shows you the value. Another example that we could do would be with this JSON query. Now it's going to return the whole query. If I run this, because I'm using the function JSON query, it returns the query that is only this, the ID, one, product, widget, quantity, and so on. It returns all orders because I'm using the function JSON query. If I would use JSON value, it would return 0, null, because of this. And then we can use this one. It's going to be more self-explanatory. We run this, and now we're using the function OPENJSON. So if we run this query, we can extract values from a JSON column and return it as a column. So OPENJSON does this, and as we could see, this is where we are extracting our values, and it returns ID, product, quantity, and price. And we're using this using the OPENJSON function. So this is what we have here, what we were talking, we can extract values from JSON columns using the JSON value, extract nested objects or arrays using the function JSON query, and then extract, like convert the JSON array into individual rows for reporting. So we can use the function OPENJSON. And it's good in the exam that we know when to use each depending on our scenario. This is the demo, the code that we run. And then we also have regular expressions in T-SQL. That is the advanced T-SQL. We have this kind of functions, regular expression like, regular expression replace, substring, in-string, count, matches, split, and so on. All of them do something, and regular expression does the string match? It can return one, a Boolean value, 1 or 0, if the string are equal. Regular expression replace, for us to replace some values from our column. And again, it's not about only knowing what they are and what they do, also knowing when to use them. So we have this kind of decision guide for when to use each one of them. Whenever we have a simple wildcards pattern, and we can only, for example, find a value like it starts with CA for Canada, or it finishes or starts with BC, this is consider a simple approach for finding matching patterns. So you should use the like operator, or the like function, the like operator. And then whenever we have complex full regular engine, whenever we have these complex patterns that we want to find, we can use the regular expression, because it extracts parts with capture groups and complex multi-card delimiters. It can work best with emails, calls, and phones, which is kind of a limitation from the like operator. When we're using the like operator and we have this kind of characters, say Z and stuff, it's a little complex or difficult for us to extract the values. So for these cases, we can use the regular expression. Let me go a little faster. And then we have fuse matching, that is approximate or similar matching use cases. And here we have more, for example, if they are writing Paula and Paulo, you can have this kind of matching things that start with phrases or words that they have the same starting letters. You can use the fuse matching. Let's go a little faster now. And then we have the programmability objects, and when to use each one of them. We know that in T-SQL we have tables, views, store procedures, and views. And also now we have the user-defined function, Scala user-defined function, triggers that can trigger one action after one DML, after one DML, and instead of DML insert or delete, you can delete or insert after one action. We also have a best approach whenever using a user-defined function is not suitable. We can use a table value function, and knowing the difference between them, it's really important, because user-defined function only returns one value, and table value function returns multiple values, like in rows of values. Let's go, and here we have when to use one. Whenever we need reusable logic with parameters that return rows, we use a inline table value function. Is preferred over Scala user-defined functions. Whenever we need to encapsulate a DML logic code DML, we can use a store procedure, and need a security boundary or simplify the reason-only access, we can use a view. So it's good to know when to use each one of them. For example, here we have a scenario. A vector embedding must auto-generate whenever product description change in the database. So after this, we can use a trigger. After update, then we can run this trigger. This is another scenario, exam scenario question. And let's go. And then we have AI-assisted development. Now, GitHub Copilot is available even on SQL Server. We can see this here. We can chat with Copilot inside of SQL Server, also in Microsoft Fabric, and it helps to accelerate and a lot of times to find errors whenever we're working with this T-SQL, advanced T-SQL. And because we can use Copilot, we can also use Git to version our code, and also use GitHub to keep our code somewhere instead of our local machines. So now we can use CI/CD. This is the part of the exam that also comes, CI/CD on SQL Server, on Fabric, and on Azure SQL. And then this is the exam strategy for this domain. Highest value topics is the JSON functions. There are 13 functions, and we should always know when to use each one of them. For JSON path, for example, without array wrapper, bridge to section 2. Match operator for system time, all 5 query variants, and JSON, OPENJSON, the function that we used in our demo. So when to use this kind of a function, and some of the common exam traps that can appear is like the difference between ledger versus temporal table. And so the proof is not the same as time travel. If we want to know if someone who altered the table, this is a proof, this is a temper proof, and it's for auditability. So I should know if I should use the ledger and not the temporal. And these kind of concepts that are kind of similar, it's that come in the exam, and we should be aware of that. Also, regular matches return table needs cross-apply, and scalar user-defined blocks, scalar user-defined function blocks parallelism. And instead of using these whenever it's blocking parallelism, it means multiple people running the same user-defined function, we could use table value function instead of that. And so for section 1, we cover the specialized table types and the JSON functions, some regular expression, when to use the like operator, regular expression, and fuzzy, and 5 programmability objects, and also with the decision guide, and a little about GitHub Copilot and Copilot on Fabric. Again, the key decision rule is tamper-proof, ledger, time travel, temporal, scalar, JSON value, fragmented, JSON query, and whenever we have arrays, use the OPENJSON. And for simple patterns, we can use the like operator. And complex patterns, we use the regular expression. And so on reusable row logic, we use inline table value function and not user-defined function. And auto-run on data change, we can use the triggers. And for session 2, I'm gonna go to always encrypted column level encryption, but I'll leave this for the next speaker. So I don't. If you guys have any questions, I'm open to that. I don't know if I can see the chat. Let me see it. Okay.
We're back.
Yes, I can stop my presentation. You can stop the presentation.
Yeah, we still have a few more minutes. So it's a great opportunity to take questions and just be interactive. And okay, we do have a question. Yeah, so I'll put it on the screen. Is OPENJSON same as unnesting?
Yes, yes. It's unnesting, but only for you to view. You're not changing the actual data that is inside the column, but for you to view. This is why this kind of function is better for reporting purposes. So you're going to query and you're going to unnest the data, because you can choose which values do you want. For example, if the JSON column has 15 columns, you can extract only 3. So this is you are unnesting.
Okay. If we have a second, I can share something cool that actually I have a few things I could share. Are you ready to yield your time?
Yes.
Okay, let's have some fun here. Okay, I want to share a few things. I'm going to share my screen. And so the very first thing that I want to share is this really cool user group. I just reached out to everybody through the Luma, through our messaging, to make sure that if you'd like to stay connected to Ladislao and all of our speakers and moderators, one of the things I want to say is, first of all, on the Luma, every link to all the speakers and moderators is clickable, and that will take you to their LinkedIn. So definitely connect. Again, a big part of what we're doing here is creating community. So it was that. And then I just wanted to share like your user group. And so everybody also through Luma has your link. So I did want to share that. And let me share some other things. I'm also going to share just in general. So I think most people here do know what Microsoft's, I'm going to see my whole screen and everything going on just because I want to jump around a couple different windows. So let's do, you're going to just see the whole thing. Here we go. All right, so you should see my screen there. So this is the Microsoft Fabric community. I shared the link to this, and I'm sure I'll share it again. It's an amazing place. You've got different forums for all the things that you're interested in. You've got inspiration, ideas. You can be, I've been now registered as an author for blogs, and I really need to start doing that. You can join user groups. A lot of the user groups are done by location. I did add my location to my user group, even though I'm more of a topic-related user group. So I'll share my user group as well. But we definitely encourage you to, user groups are a great thing. So find ones that are near you, or you can also, again, look for different topics. My co-leads are in Canada and the UK. So we are definitely an online virtual one, and I am the location intelligence and security user group. So again, I've dropped those links for both of our user groups, so you can come hang out with us there. But I really encourage you to set up an account if you don't have one already with with the Fabric community, which is like their unified data platform. And I actually also am going to be heading to Barcelona in September, which I'm super, super excited about. So I'm hoping we can work it out that Shalom and Ladislao can be part of the scene there. It'd be great and amazing to spend time with you guys in person and everybody else who can also come join us. It doesn't look like you're seeing my screen. Are you? Or maybe I can't see it. Okay, you can't see. Okay. Next cool thing that I want to share with you, as you see everything that's going on my screen, I have shared this notebook with you. Hold on, it's separated itself. Hold on. Okay. You all have the link to this notebook. So this is an LLM notebook. People have said, hey, do I have access to those slides? Well, maybe. If some of our speakers shares the slides with us, I can upload them into the resources here. But this is the everything that we have found related to studying for DP-800. So you can go directly to the source, or you can ask questions of the source, or you can see any of the different slide presentations we've made, flashcards we've made, or anything else that you would like us to make. You have a really comprehensive, sort of full behind the scenes discussion of, hey, what's the everything involved in DP-800? Because what's kind of fun about our events is we may not start out as experts, but by the time we are prepared with our session, we are the expert. And we want to share this with you so that you too can, like I said, play with it, ask questions of it. You are a viewer, not a creator, so don't know exactly how much you can modify. But I will actually, I actually was studying for the SE 500. I actually created a couple of audio podcasts based on the content that were fun for me to listen to, specifically to help me with KQL and JSON. So I just wanted to let you know that that's something else that you will have access to play with. And I think that I think that's the end of my tour. Oops, hold on. I want all of us on screen. Where are you? Okay, hold on. That's not what I want. There's Ladislao. Okay, not what I want either.
What? I'm on the main screen.
I want the version of my screen where I can. There we are. All right, there we are. That's what I wanted. Hello. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to share some of the resources that we had. And actually, probably the one more thing that you might all want to see is the form that I will be sending out. Since we do have just one more minute, I just, before we jump to our next session, I'm going to give you a rundown of like, what are we getting? What does this look like? So let me do a quick share of that as well. Oh wait, are you sharing your screen? Do I see? Hold on, I've got other people we can add to the stage. Hey, everybody. I'm doing one more real quick screen share. And then, okay. All right, so you should see this. Okay, so what you're going to get is you're going to get a link to this form. And this form basically is the instruction. So you request your voucher, but you can also, this is also good for 600, 700, or 800. So whichever one you want to take, just indicate what you plan on taking. Let me know if you're planning on taking it before June 15th or after. If you're requesting before June 15th, you will be deployed your voucher code today. It needs to be registered today, Pacific time, because I know obviously in South Asia, click over till tomorrow, but it's still good as long as it's May 30th Pacific time. Just let us know which sessions you attended. And then here, just I review the guidelines again, which the biggest thing is I don't want is you giving it away or what looks like you're selling it. So fill this form only once today. Don't use, use the email and the name you plan on registering for your event. They look for the correct name and email on this form to match the exam registration. Only register for these 3 exams, no other exams. It's not gated when you register, so it is the honor system. You need to take it by the days that are provided. So I don't know, it might allow you to schedule past the 15th. Please don't. Please, register it today and schedule an exam that you will take on or before June 15th. And again, if you're not planning on taking it on June 15th, don't worry. Just click the checkbox that says you'd like to take it after. And again, as long as everybody complies, there will be more vouchers. So we're all good with that. And then just again, I'll email you, just reply thanks or I got it, just so I know. And if you change your mind and can't use it, just write back as quickly as you can, just saying, hey, I need to give this back. And then I can reassign it to someone else. And again, future vouchers remain contingent on our community's ability to follow these guidelines. So just wanted to sort of share that, and I appreciate everybody's cooperation with that. Now let me come back to our event screen. I seem to have lost our speakers. Here we are. Okay, we're back. We have everybody. Why do I feel like oh, we do, but we're just in the wrong format. Give us a second. Hang on 1 second. Let me get a screen where all of us are visible. There we are. Okay. All right. So thank you. And yeah, we just have a few more minutes and then we'll jump over to the next session. I'll go ahead and put that in the link in here and through Luma. And just so everybody, just a reminder, because you mentioned get access to the notebook LM stack. Okay, so just reminder everybody should be here, who's here, should be registered for Luma, because that's where I'm sending out all the links and all the reminders. That's where you can click through all the speakers and get their LinkedIn, and just all the stuff is coming to you through Luma. And in session 3 is when we'll send out the voucher request form through Luma. So if you're looking for the Luma link, it's in the description below and also being shared in the chat. And the sessions are definitely, yeah, they're recorded and they're going to stay here on YouTube, but the exam vouchers are definitely limited. Although what will happen is there will be a voucher listed for future for people who watch the replay and want to request. But I'm also, as we're a live stream, I'm also focusing a lot on sort of what I'm going to be deploying today. So if you're requesting a voucher today, you are going to get that voucher before the end of our event today. So they're real and they're quick and Ladislav, that was excellent. Thank you so much. Can everybody kind of give Ladislav a round of applause for a fantastic session? He has a great session 5. I'm so excited for that. It is so good. So we are all going to be looking forward to seeing you for session 5, because then he just breaks down, like, how do you really be efficient and effective with your studying, which is an important part of this as well. And with that, we're all going to jump to session 2 and meet Yusuf over there. And I'm just getting our link that I'll pop in the chat, and I'll be popping it into our Luma. And then with that, we will wrap up this session and see you all in the next session. Of course, there we are. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you got the link, and you'll have it through Luma as well, and you have it on the playlist. And yeah, so we're excited, and thank you, everybody. Again, please celebrate our speaker by dropping a like. It helps the algorithm, and sharing our message to more people who can get all AI enabled. All right. Thank you, everybody. Again, thank you so much to our moderators for your great support and help. We so appreciate having you here today. Anything either of you guys want to add before we jump? All right, I'm going to take that I've been busy in the chat. So I'll take that as a we'll see you all in the next session. And thank you, everybody, and see you in session 2.
Yeah.